Hey, what's up? What's up? It's Cab the Cash Flow DJ coming back at you once again. Welcome to the 30-day challenge. This is day 5 of the 30-day challenge. Cab the Cash Flow DJ, the Cash Flow Hustles Radio back at you. CashFlowHustlesRadio.com. Coming back at you with another episode of the 30-day challenge of day number 5. Today is Small Business Thursday or Group Economics Thursday. Kind of either one of those two. That's kind of what we focusing on right now or whatever. Sorry about that. Just kind of some technical difficulties I'm dealing with here. Oh, for one moment. Forgot something else too. Supposed to be recording this thing, so let me take care of some of this technical stuff here. One moment. Let me see. Where is it at? I can't find it. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. Yeah. What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing? Hey, how's it going, Gabriel? Everybody, welcome in. We're doing a 30-day challenge, a 30-day video challenge that I'm involved in. I did put the link up yesterday. I'm going to put it up today for both both settings. I'm going to put the link up for that and for the topic of yesterday. And also today, I'll put probably a couple links up today for some stuff I'm doing too. But anyway, yes, it's Cab the Cash Flow DJ with the 30-day challenge. We talk about Small Business Thursdays, Group Economics Thursdays. That's kind of my specialty. I get into a whole lot of stuff, but that's kind of my main primary specialty. It's actually kind of a movement. I call it the Group Economics Movement. I'm very powerfully deep into it. There's a lot of different versions of it. I haven't gone into a full presentation, a full explanation of it or whatever. But I have some. I just haven't, gone into those. Although this is Group Economics Thursday, Small Business Thursday. But I do want to talk about the concepts about small business, home-based business, or whatever type of business that you want to do, offline, online. It covers all of that, whatever. Gas station, real estate, tax service, hair mechanic, whatever. And I was asking a question about this since we're on the theme of Small Business Thursday and Group Economics, what that is and how this gets into that. I'm looking at my Evernote again, and I'll send the link out for that for my Evernote stuff because I got a ton of them. I got like about 600, 700, 800 of them, maybe 1,000 of them on a ton of different topics. But the title of it is it really possible to start your own business for, say, $50 or less? Now, that's an interesting question. Some people think maybe not. It is, and we don't just mean some little side hustle where you make $10, a month or something. We mean something fairly substantial. Maybe not retirement. Maybe it all depends on what you're doing. But that's the question, though. Is it possible to do that? Yeah, it is. It's very possible, especially if you go deep research on it and people goes into it. Depends on if that's something that you're really into. What does it take? Among many other things, a few things that I notated or highlighted. Creativity. You have to be creative. Some people just have no type of creativity, or they haven't sparked their own, their own perception or their own potential for creativity. They just haven't tapped it. They've been so busy waiting because of being an employee and having just a smaller perspective of themselves. It stifles their creativity. So going into business, sometimes you have to spark your creative muscle. You can actually train it and get a skill in creativity. But creativity, persistence, perspective, you got to kind of have some kind of positiveness when it comes to doing your own business or your own small business, because a lot of people, especially in this country, are not really too understanding about that because we're so filled with the employee mindset and employee attitude. I don't want to get too deep into the philosophy of this, but especially since the industrial age. I don't know if anybody are familiar with the industrial age and what that is. That started around the beginning of the century, right around when Henry Ford came out and invented the factories. And, the factories came out and they started getting these factory workers and your whole life became working at the factory. Now, we didn't used to have that until the industrial age. Before that, they called it the agrarian age. The agrarian age was agricultural. Like when the founding of the country, we just got through the 4th of July when George Washington and all of them came out. Most of those guys were farmers. You had some business guys and all that type of stuff, but most of the country was agricultural. Small towns. In the big cities, you had a few merchants, blacksmith and all that type of stuff. But now it's common in the industrial age, and we're kind of in the digital age now. I guess you could say that. In the industrial age, it's kind of falling off a little bit with the global landscape changing, with China coming into the picture. See, I don't want to get too deep, but because I'll ramble off into a whole different direction. But just a little bit of foundation of what we're talking about. We're in the digital age now, but a lot of people's mindset, why they're not really thinking about businesses and entrepreneurship, is because they have the industrial age mentality, which they're having a job. And the creativity I was talking about has been stifled because they're not used to just finding a way to do things without being crazy. You can get pretty crazy and do stuff, or sometimes people call you crazy. Sometimes you might be crazy with some of the things that people do when they put people at risk and they do this, or they're looking for the quick get rich quick thing. And there's a couple of TV shows about, like The Simpsons. Homer's always trying to get rich quick scheme, and he's doing something. He's gonna sell emus and all. It was comedy, but under that comedy is real. So you got some extremes. You got to be balanced with it. But having your mind open to that perspective may help possibly your situation out, depending on what you're going through. But creativity, persistence, perspective. I didn't even finish my little list. Resourcefulness. That goes in with creativity. Remember, I mentioned those 5 things. Resourcefulness, that means you kind of have to be able to do something with what you already have. A lot of people wait. I don't have this. I ain't got this. I ain't got this. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't have this. I don't have that. Hey, how's it going, AJ? Welcome in. We're talking about Small Business Thursday, Group Economics Thursday. It was my specialty. Resourcefulness. That's a good one, because it really just means working with what you got. It takes creativity to do that. You have to have a creative mindset to have just a little bit and work with it. You know how some of our parents back in the day, maybe they might have been poor and they had to grow up raising 5, 6, 7, 8 kids, or maybe 10 or 12. And nowadays people have it, they average like 2 and 3 kids. You got to send them to college, all this expenses. They can't imagine raising 10, 12 kids. But back in the day, that was very common. So the mothers or the families or the fathers or whatever, I'm talking about resourcefulness, would have to be resourceful, creative and resourceful to feed those kids and raise those kids, and put the right things into their minds. They had to be resourceful with what they had to work with. They didn't have much to work with. You want me to go back further? Let's go back to the slave era, or when slavery was ended here in this country. And we had to be resourceful in order to survive. But anyway, creativity, persistence, perspective, that's real positive. All of this is positive. And finally, networking. Networking is something that you really got. We on social media, we have to, and most of the time people still haven't mastered the art of networking. Networking is an art form. It gets deep. See, I get into a lot of deep subjects, and I just barely hit on them a little bit, because I can go subway deep on them or whatever, and I just kind of barely hit on them because I'm getting like the little tips and stuff like that. But those are the 5 things that I have on my little note. What do you call it? Evernote, about starting your own business. Creativity, persistence, perspective, resourcefulness, and networking. You don't have to take notes, because I'm going to put the link up to this. The link to these are my notes that I take. I always take notes. I'm going to put the link up to this, and people can either, download it or whatever, or go to the page and look at it or whatever they want to do, because it might help. I try to provide value during this 30-day challenge. Okay, let me continue reading the thing or whatever, or highlighting it anyway. Now, it sounds like a lot of platitudes, a lot of rah-rah talk, but perspective means you got to look at the bigger picture sometimes, or the smaller picture. Look at it from a different perspective. And if you're not able to do that, see, some people, we so obedient, like coming from our jobs or whatever, and factories and whatnot, we don't think outside of the box. We stay inside that box, and my mother was like that. I love my mother to death, but she stays inside that box. I don't care what, which is great for religion, because she's very religious, and older people and all that from the king days and all that type of stuff. They stay in that box for years, 30, 40, way into their senior years, and they will not get out of that box. The doctor tells her to do something. Nothing wrong with doctors. She refuses to look at a different perspective than what the doctors say. Doctors are not always right. And if the TV people say something like the news media, this gonna happen, that gonna happen, and they put all this stuff out, you can't always believe everything that the news media says. It don't mean the news they always lying, but you can't always believe that. Any kind of authority figure, politicians, any kind of authority figure, we should we respect authority, but authority is just as human as we are a lot of times, and they don't have all the answers. So you have to kind of look outside of the box. But anyway, opportunities are all around you that you may not be, picking up. Vast opportunities to be able to do something and be able to change the situation. You got a lot of opportunities around you. Now, the laborer's mentality or the worker's mentality kind of limits you. We already get into that. And desperation and frustration sometimes because your situation can kind of cloud your thinking. Hey, what's up, Steve? What's up? How you doing, Tanya? Now, some people just can't handle the concept of, and I had to learn this myself because I've always been open to it, but some people cannot handle the concept of self-employment. And I guess it's scary and it's risky. It's definitely a risk. It's not something that you just can jump in and just with people, the people projected like the scams and stuff and hype and no money down real estate and all this. It's not, because there's a lot of hype in there. But in between the hype and underneath the hype, hey, how's it going, Manny? Manny Rodriguez, he's fellow challenge guy. Hey, go challenge people. 30-day challenge. But you have to have the right perspective when it comes to doing self-employment, getting into self-employment. Thanks a lot, Steve. Hey, still going. Thanks a lot, Manny. Hey, still going, man. God, I'm getting in the groove now. I'm still going, man. But some people just can't handle the concept of self-employment for whatever reason. And I had to learn to kind of go with that because, see, I'm so logical. It's just a normal personality. Analytical. I look at different situations, different opportunities, and it looks like a no-brainer to me. When you look at stuff and another person don't see it, I used to think, you must be stupid or crazy or silly. I used to think that. I had to stop thinking that way because I meet people, I talk to people, and people have different ways and opinions and ideas on things. Some people just like to be in the situation that they're in. Somebody called them bean counters. They had this test where you could test with what type of people were, like a 4. It's an analytical test, the type of personality you have. And some people are natural bean counters. They're bean counters. They're just like an accountant. Nothing, not going down on anybody's, downing anybody's profession. But like an accountant, or like a CPA or like anybody that's doing a little something, little work they're doing. There's nothing wrong with that, but they love that. Respect that. What's his name that had an interview a while back? What was the guy's name? Jay-Z's guy, Dame Dash. Got into a lot of trouble with this subject because Dame is, doing his thing, and had a lot of controversy because he started downgrading people that had jobs. He started downgrading people, and you can't really downgrade people, and I had to learn not to do that. Hey, what's up, Anthony? What's up, Tom Wilkins in the house? One of my old Mariana guys. What's up there? Doing a 30-day challenge on Group Economics Thursday and Small Business Thursday. So we're talking about the concept of small business and what, some different ideas that people can have when it comes to small business, what they can do, look at it a little bit differently. And like I was saying, some people just can't handle self-employment. Now, it's still a job. It's work. It's work. But it's self-employment. People say you're your own boss. That's just a little saying. You have to motivate yourself. You got to get yourself going. You have to fire yourself, whatever. Do whatever you have to do to yourself as a self-employed individual. But anyway, this is small business. So we talked about the 5 things that people need in small business, which is creativity, persistence, perspective, resourcefulness, and networking. And persistence comes from continue to look for an opportunity out there and look and keep going what you got to do, because sometimes things start a little slow in small business, because a lot of times you count about yourself a lot of times. Not always, but a lot of times you count about yourself. Now, what I wanted to go to now, in this little section here, was we talking about small business and just the mental concept and just the generic, attitude, the philosophy, whatever. Now, I kind of want to get to some specific examples, and then I think I'll probably leave it off right there after that, and get back into some more stuff on the next installment for group economics and small business. But I kind of want to get people's wheels turning, and once again, send me my ideas, man. Yeah, Steve, I'm always, you have to have a different perspective to see beyond just the box. Like I was saying earlier, people stay inside of a box, and the box is cool, but you kind of have to at some point think out of that box. And if you don't think out of that box, we would have never had some of the stuff we have right now. We'd have never had internet, TV, we wouldn't have cars, we wouldn't have computers, we wouldn't have a whole bunch of stuff. The United States of America wouldn't be here if people want to stay in the box and be obedient to whatever somebody else said. And if we stayed in that box, nobody would progress. But see, everybody wants to sit back and wait. And it takes certain people to get out there, out of their comfort zone, to get out of that box. But I'm just going to go into some specific examples, and this is kind of brainstorming because people don't know what, since we so used to being in a box, we don't know what to do because of that box. And our mind, we just in. And now some of us, I don't know if you ever heard of Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary Vaynerchuk is deep into entrepreneurial stuff. He's a dude. He gets into that. He's kind of a new school type of guy. He's not no old guy that's been around since the 40s or whatever. He's a new school type of dude. He's not young, but he's younger and he appeals to young folks. So he is deep on this particular subject I'm talking about being entrepreneurial and kind of the mindset that it takes. But the question I was asking earlier was, is it possible to start a business for like $50? Which it is. Without getting an SBA loan or whatever, for like $50, yeah, or less, or more, $100, something like that, yeah. But anyway, let's go into some ideas and do a little bit of creative brainstorming on what you can do without having to wait on somebody to show you what to do and to lead you on what to do and whatever. And if you're not leaning that way, this will give you this will sort of prompt your mind to kind of come up with some things or whatever. I'm just gonna name some stuff out. And it kind of helps to prompt you a little bit, And if you already got some ideas, you already know. You just need to kind of focus on what you want to do. But some of us may not have an idea. So let me go. You got service businesses. Service businesses are doing any type of service. I don't care if it's cleaning carpets. You don't really need. Sometimes the biggest thing you need for that is equipment. We're talking about cheap. The biggest thing you need for a lot of service businesses is equipment or the skill to do it, like janitorial. Janitorial, you need equipment, but you don't really need that much for a janitorial business or a maid business or whatever. You're cleaning offices and stuff. It's a service business. And then there's landscaping with yards, and there's on and on. But anyway, service businesses, things that you have the skill that you can do. Teaching another language, teaching sign language. I had a lot of hustles. I used to be a driving instructor. I started in a cab. And one of my cab customers from India, because they don't drive a lot over there. I mean, it's not common for them to drive. They do a lot of bicycling and whatnot. So this man was like 30-something years old, came over here, didn't have his license, didn't know how to drive. So I taught him how to drive, charged him a little fee, and he sent a referral to me. It was by accident. And I taught them how to drive. Next thing you know, I just kept having all these Indian people coming to me, teaching them how to drive. So, I made decent little change. I gave them a decent little rate, but it was an opportunity, and, I was teaching them how to drive. I was a driving instructor. That's a skill. That's a service business. But anyway, that's just one. These are things you can do for like $50 or less, small business. Jogging your brain a little bit. And if you already know what you're going to do, this kind of helps you get an idea of what else is out there, because some of us like to spin different hats. Number 2, commission direct sales. Get out there and knocking on doors. Most of us ain't down for that sales stuff. There's a few of us that's got the gut for it. Most people don't have the gut. I've done it. They don't have the gut for that cold calling sales thing. But it's not always have to be cold call. There's different ways to do it. But anyway, direct sales. Number 3, using equipment, assets, or resources that you already own or that you already have access to. Bam. You already got your hustle right there. Cash flow hustles. That's a hustle you get right there. Number 4, now we're being creative and resourceful, as I mentioned earlier, and we're also being positive. Don't be thinking about what you can't do, what you ain't gonna do and what won't work. Number 4, arbitrage. Kind of a big word. All arbitrage is you are just a middleman. That in the streets, you street vernacular or layman's vernacular, you just a middleman. You take one person over here, like say on eBay. You go to eBay. What's up, Melvin? Hey, what's up? I'm doing this Facebook Live challenge thing, man. 30-day challenge. I'm on it. Arbitrage. Arbitrage, all that is breaking it down to, to the white meat. Let's get a little country on them. Like they do on eBay. You go to eBay. Melvin is an eBay guy, so you may school some folks on some eBay hustles. You go to eBay, you find a whatever computer or something. We just come up with something, $40 or whatever it is. You bid on that, you win the bid on the computer for $40, and then you go right back. You ain't even got it at your house yet, or whatever. Or hopefully it won't be a problem, like far as a scam or issue. But you take that. This is arbitrage. You take that computer for $40. And you list it, you relist it for a profit for $50 or $60 or whatever. This is just an example of arbitrage. There's a whole lot of ways you can do that. And you don't have the money or the equipment, but you and the middleman, you can make deals so you can do arbitrage. Okay, number 5, generating leads or sales for existing businesses. You see how creative this stuff is? You can easily go to Barnes & Noble or go to Google to pick up a book and this stuff is all in there. But generating leads or sales for an existing business. Never thought of that, huh? There's some stuff out there, man. Some hustles out there, man. Quit knocking what people can do and whatnot. And see, this is what Gary Vaynerchuk, he's brilliant at this. You got to look at, you probably can't spell his name. Nobody can. Gary V, look at some of his stuff. Dude is deep on this type of stuff. But generating leads for other businesses. You got a dude that does lawn or whatever he does. He's mechanic work. I used to do this for another mechanic I used to know. I just threw him business. I didn't really get any money for it, but I used to throw him business. You generate leads for them. They want leads. They want sales. If you have, now you ain't got a dime, but if you have a way to get to other people and bring business to them, especially if you can hold them, if you get real deep with it and you get real, let your wheels start turning with it, you get it where you can hold it. And there's some businesses that do this. They generate leads online or whatever. And you go to the actual business. You can do this like if you have a flyer or something or a circle. There's a lot of ways you can do it. You go to him and say, "Look, man, I can bring you some business, man. You want your customers are low on certain. Let me use an example like a nightclub. They rent out certain nights or whatever, to get business and stuff for their bar or whatever. So you get the club for a certain night. Let's say Thursday nights or whatever." And his nights is low. Maybe Monday nights you have a slow night. You can generate leads for this club or business for this club on Monday nights, and you either get you get the door charge, he gets all the bar money, or you get let him get the door money, and y'all work out a deal on the bar money, or you just work out a deal. This is just an example, man. I'm just off the dome with stuff, and there's a lot of ways you can do stuff just by being creative. Okay, number 6, that was generating leads. Number 6, buying small items wholesale. Small items. Kind of like that eBay thing we did. You can do it with Amazon too. They got a hustle out there for Amazon and eBay. You look that up. That hustle up. And that explains yourself. You buy it wholesale, it's a small item, you sell it retail. Don't take under $50. You're talking $50 to $100 or whatever. Number 7, here's a good one. Now this is some creative stuff. I'm gonna put the link up for the note. Bartering or trading products and services as a small business owner with other small business owner. Did you hear what I said? I said bartering or trading. Have you heard about bartering? There was a story of this guy on Craigslist. He wanted to make a point. He did a public experiment on trading and bartering. I think he started with a paper clip. He had one little small paper clip, and he went on Craigslist. He did a video. I forgot how it went. He did a journal or whatever it is. And he started trading up from that paper clip. No cash, all trade. That's what bartering means, all trades. And that dude, I had to look that up and find a link on that story. From that one paper clip, he bartered himself up to like a house or something like that. I think he got a house. It took him a whole lot of flips, a whole lot of barters to get up to that. But he wound up getting himself a house or something and a car. He got all types of stuff with no cash, strictly bartering and just bartering. It's a whole deep art to that, and they got some websites and some forums that focus on bartering. But bartering, man, is what used to happen before money, in ancient times and whatnot, where you just trade off different stuff for each other. And I think the last one I got here, number 8, for small businesses, doing work for free as a volunteer, or free work as an intern, or just free work as an introductory, like an introductory freebie. The cookie woman gives out free cookies. What's the name of that? Mrs. Fields or whatever. So free volunteer work, free intern work, or free introductory work. Now that it can turn into a business because you get customers, and it's a loss leader. I don't want to get too technical on how business works, but it's called a loss leader, and all this stuff you can look up. So anyway, those are just 8 creative ways that you can start a business. $50 to $100 or less, or maybe a little more. The less money you start out with, the slower your money may start coming in. But here's the thing: if you got some sales skills or some communication skills, then your money can probably maybe come in a little quicker and a little easier if you have that sales skill. But if you don't have a sales skill, you can just be a regular hard-working guy, and at the beginning anyway, and do that. And even if you got the sales skills, you can get big money come in. That's another thing. If you got the right connections, right relationships, right influences, that can dictate how slow or fast that you can grow, or how quick or large you can grow. Because people be concerned about how fast or quick you can go. There's a whole lot of ins and outs to it. But anyway, those were 8 different points. And like I said, I'm gonna post this on. I'm gonna post a link on this so people can look at it. It's just some little notes I've taken. I keep extensive notes. 8 different things you can do to start a business for like $50 to $100, and all that stuff I named off. You can make some decent money with it. Some of them may take a little longer, some of it quicker. And some of the other stuff I got down here, eBay. You can go to the thrift store and get your eBay hustle started like that. First of all, you can look around your house. You can do arbitrage from Amazon or Walmart or somewhere. It's a little complicated, but it's a little way you got to do it. You can go to garage sales and thrift stores and get your eBay hustle started. Electronics, of course, everybody's big into electronics, computers and all. I'm just naming off industries. Real estate, people think, you look at the infomercials, but you got to do some research on how that works with real estate, because it's kind of an arbitrage thing in real estate that I mentioned earlier. CPA marketing, that's affiliate marketing. It's deep. It's money. $50 we talking, folks. Less than 50. Pay-per-call affiliate marketing. The stuff I'm saying, look some of this stuff up. Carpet cleaning, that's a hustle. Sure, you can go to without the equipment, to a Kroger or whatever, and rent the thing or whatever. And it's a dude I know, he did a little hustle. He put some Craigslist ads out, and once he got a call on the Craigslist ad, he went to Kroger and rented the machine and went to go do the job, and then turned the machine back into Kroger, doing carpet cleaning. Being creative, being resourceful. Insurance, that's kind of more of a sales job. Janitorial, we mentioned that earlier. Auto repair, you just need the skill for that. You may need some tools. We say $50 to $100. Computer repair, see, Melvin got the skills for that. See, Melvin got a lot of skills. Lot of skills. But it's all in how you handle that. Car flipping arbitrage, everybody knows you can flip cars. You just got to start low and go up higher. Lead generation, we got on that. Small business coupons and discounts. You can get small business coupons started, because the people that use your coupons that you print out, that you make up, they're your customers. Those are leads. So they give them a discount. They're giving your customers with that coupon from your paper, whatever you got, whatever your program is. You're generating leads. That's the same same thing as generating leads, basically. Auto club, legal services, cable, telecom, credit consultant, loan broker. See, these are like direct sales. All this type of stuff is direct sales. Don't take any money, but you kind of got to have sales skills. Merchant accounts, mortgages, auto loans, equipment leasing, all of that stuff that I just named off. There's examples of stuff you can do from $50 to $100, maybe less, maybe a little bit more. But the point of it is that it can be done, and it kind of gets you out of the box on what to do. And the fact, and most people don't think about it. Remember, I mentioned this earlier. that because we're coming from the industrial age, everybody is used to the factory. It's coming from Henry Ford. Henry Ford started that stuff in the industrial age. We're in the digital age, but we just have not quite left that industrial age yet. See, China has taken over now for the manufacturing era. And so America is going to turn mostly into a service-based industry, because the manufacturing jobs, that we have in 2040, that stuff is gone. I don't want to get deep into that. I'm just touching on that. So basically, so wrapping it up here for the group economics for the Small Business Thursday. It's all a matter of who you go to, who you are first, who you think you are, and who you believe that you can be, where you are, how you get there, and which products to focus and concentrate on. You kind of got to do a little bit of research, market research, to get a good idea of what's going on. You can do your own market research. You can look at somebody else's research. You don't have to get too complicated, especially if you're trying to cut yards or something like that, But, in general, that's kind of what you want to do. Depends on how deep you want to go and what you want to deal with. But that's pretty much about it for today. I didn't get too way deep into group economics. That's kind of my niche, my main niche. I mean, I get into a few other things, but group economics is something I get very deep into. And once I get all my stuff set up, I will get like a full presentation on group economics. People throw that word around and term around, they use it, and it doesn't necessarily have a fixed meaning or whatever. And even the way I define it and use it is not just one way. It's different ways you can do it. But group economics is something that's going to be, and I'm trying to get a movement going. The group economics movement. I'm trying to get a movement going on that for it to blow up. So you see on Jay Leno or something somewhere, or whatever that dude's name is, Conan O'Brien or something with this group economics thing, don't be shocked, because I'm trying to blow that up, and it's so powerful until it's ridiculous. The only competition that will be with that will probably be crowdfunding, because that's kind of mostly what I do. It has a lot of elements of crowdfunding in it, but it's bigger than crowdfunding. But that's just a teaser. I got a ton of stuff I get into. I tell you all the time, I got a ton of notes I get into on Evernote. So I put up some links for certain stuff I'm talking about, and links for other stuff that I mentioned or whatever. But that's about it. Just for right now, just something for you to think about. I get deep, man. I get extremely deep. Sometimes I get so deep I drown myself. But just getting into a little bit of stuff. Like I said, my niche is the group economics niche, and I got to go deep into what that actually entails and what it can be, because it's flexible. There's no one definition. But yeah, so this is Kev, the Cashflow DJ, Cashflow Hustles Radio. I'm going to go ahead on and end this here for the night. Come back for the next episode, which is tomorrow. What is it, day 6? Yeah, day 6. The 30-day challenge, the 30-day video challenge that I'm doing. I'm doing my own 30-day challenge. Radio show, Cashflow Hustles Radio. Cashflow DJ is me. And this is kind of what I do. Personal development, self-development, entrepreneurialism, neo-soul, whatever. That's my whole thing. So anyway, I'll catch you guys later. It's Kev, the Cashflow DJ. I'm out. Peace, holla. I'll talk to you guys on the next run. Have a good night. Thanks again, everybody.